Hello and welcome to Game Soup Classic Analysis, Genesis Games. This is Joe.
This is Ed.
And we're playing Wonder Boy in Monster World. The theme of this episode is monster games.
And also copyright infringement?
Yeah, we wanted to play this game for a very specific reason, which we will be revealing shortly.
Peace was shattered by an invading army of... Oh, monsters, of course, because we're in Monster World. Cheyenne. Alright.
So this game has very colorful graphics, almost in a Dragon Quest kind of vein.
Yeah.
The style was really popular in Japan in the late 80s and early 90s, maybe through the 90s.
Looks really nice, graphically. I really like the art style. On these trees, it looks cartoony. Like I think you said that earlier.
Yeah, it's like an illustrator kind of style almost, like a children's book almost.
So the controls are really slippery. It kind of feels like you're on ice all the time, which is not a good thing.
Yeah, the acceleration is very slow.
Yeah.
It's slow to get to your top speed.
Like, you know what Mario feels like. Super Mario Brothers doesn't feel anything like that.
No.
And then your B button is to swing the sword. A button is to, in the top right corner there, we have our 2 quick slots, which we can equip things to later on.
Yeah, this is one of the earlier games that had quick slots. Yeah, if that's what I guess that's what it'd be called, right? Quick slots?
I guess so, yeah.
It's a good name for it.
Sell me something with quick slots.
Elixir and Firestorm. So you can equip those onto your quick slots here.
Which we're going to do right now. So we have Firestorm, and those diamonds there tell you how many uses. So we have 3 uses of Firestorm now. But we want to save them, I think.
Yeah, I think we might run into some dastardly mushrooms coming up pretty soon.
Ugh. So these controls are slippery, but also tight, if that makes any sense. Like, you can tap it and barely go anywhere, so you have to hold it for an extended period, but if you do that, then you're going to slip around all over the place. So, they're a little... I don't know why they had to include this sort of acceleration on these controls. It would have functioned much better without any sort of ice physics here. Alright, it's been years since we last had a visitor. Oh, how did you know I'm on a journey?
So, she gives you a little clue about what's coming up here. There's going to be a jellyfish.
That's leather boots.
And she tells you that it's not an enemy. Yeah, we don't have enough.
That's good to know.
Enough gold. So she just sits on the side of the road, helping travelers every few years and trying to sell them boots that they can't afford.
Yeah, and then warning them about jellyfish. Now, there's an NPC that tells you about jellyfish. Is there any way that could have been implemented better in teaching the player that the jellyfish are not dangerous?
Forcing the player to jump off of a ledge and landing on a jellyfish.
Yeah. Presenting the jellyfish in a non-threatening, safe environment.
Because you might not stop there and go in. You probably would, but...
You probably would, yeah. But there are plenty of other better ways instead of telling the player directly. You know, showing, not telling. That always comes back.
Or you could show another character maybe jumping on a jellyfish. Like another friendly character. Maybe you could show her jumping on a jellyfish instead of in a shop telling you about a jellyfish.
You could even just give the jellyfish a smiley face. And that would probably say to the player, you know, these guys might not hurt you.
All this talk about jellyfish, when are we going to see this damn jellyfish?
Well, I think it's coming up. Man, I really like the colors in this game, though. The art direction is... Well, I don't know about art direction, just I like the art style a lot. It's very cartoony.
It's very bright, and everything kind of almost blends together because everything is so saturated. There's like not that much separating it. However, but the gameplay is slow enough that I think it's fine. Like you can usually see everything coming, and it's not. You have time to prepare.
Oh God. Okay. So while we were practicing this game, getting ready to record this, I made this mistake. Well, mistake. So when the enemies turn around, like this guy's going to the right, and he immediately, when he's ready to head left, he just immediately turns around and starts walking. And that move speed is, I don't know, it's average, I guess. But if you're standing near him, he's gonna hit you right away.
It makes you look like a moron when you're playing the game because everything looks very easy to dodge and very easy to kill.
Joe made a very good point.
You still get hit.
Yeah, I looked like a huge moron taking damage from those guys because if you're standing even this far away, just a couple, you know, just not very far at all, you might still get hit by them because they have no wind up. Unlike you have huge wind up, huge acceleration and deceleration, they just immediately turn around and hit you.
Right.
So that feels
a little unfair.
Yeah.
And almost every enemy has the same attack pattern. They go back and forth.
Yeah, really.
The monkey takes 2 hits.
The monkey takes 2 hits. Oh yeah, that's their health bar below our hearts.
Oh right. Yeah, this is kind of a nice indicator. It's nice and big.
This is another cool thing. You can actually jump in the water, and I don't think you can even sink. You just get to swim, which means you can just bypass this whole thing. So, other than farming for gold, Why would you
there's
not
no reason
do that?
to kill those crabs up there.
It's cool
They're gonna drown anyway. They're not in water.
they are. Why aren't they in the water?
Why is he so happy?
Shouldn't the top path be clear and the crab should be in the water?
No.
Oh, that's so
actually that
awkward.
would make a lot of sense. To have because then there would be a punishment for falling down. You have to fight crabs and go back and start over.
So the jumping. So there's been a lot of platforming already, but I have a huge problem. The jumping. Oh.
And respawning enemies, which we didn't notice last time we played.
Okay, so I have two huge problems.
The enemies can respawn right up your ass.
Yep, they respawn apparently anywhere. So the jumping
he's probably going to respawn again at some point.
So you have to gain a little bit of momentum before you
gotta gain
jump.
some momentum to jump, and then you get screwed up.
Yeah. So that's not so hot.
And here's our smiling jellyfish.
Oh, he is smiling, isn't he?
But he does look like he has sharp fangs.
Well, look, okay, so we talked to this NPC who told us about the jellyfish. Now this sign is telling us about the jellyfish.
We really know that these jellyfish are not dangerous.
But did we need two different sources? Did we need either of them? Did we have to have any of that? I think no. Okay, so now we're in town, right?
The safe zone.
Yeah,
the safe zone of the game, right? So this mushroom right here, he's probably an NPC, right? Because we see that we're in a town.
Nope.
No, just kidding. He's an enemy.
Joey and I debated as soon as I came onto the screen whether or not that was an enemy or a friendly guy.
I said it was.
You said it was an enemy, right?
Yeah, because I think I remembered from the game because I played it before.
Okay.
So I kind of had an unfair advantage in that debate.
Maybe, but I mean, I've never played a game where the town, the safe zone, is not safe.
Not safe at all.
Good morning. Did you sleep well?
And there's a reason why we don't do that, because we like to have a little break in our games. We like to have some kind of especially in a game like this, you want the town to be safe. That's why in every other game there's no enemies in towns. Yeah, this is where you go to figure out where to go next in the story and to equip.
They just keep respawning. Plus, imagine
stay at an inn.
Imagine if you want to go to the inn and heal, right? And you finally made it to town. Oh, you're safe, man. You get away from all those monsters.
I'll just talk to this friendly-looking mushroom here.
And then you get sniped by a mushroom who spawns right behind you.
Doesn't feel good.
Stand in front of the item you should purchase and press up. You have a discriminating eye. That's small spear.
Plus 80 gold. We
can't afford that. We could grind for gold, but
we're not going to
do that. Yeah. Keep in mind that when you equip a spear, you can't use a shield. Oh, we don't have a shield.
Okay, so that's fine. That's useful. She's there. She gives us optional information, teaches us about the weapon. I think that's fine.
This reminds me a lot of Zelda, because when Ocarina of Time, when you start off in Kokiri Forest and you have to buy your shield, it's optional here.
Also, the weapon, the item switching system. What did we call it before?
The quick slots.
The quick slots. Yeah, that's very reminiscent of.
Interesting.
I would almost say reminiscent of Ocarina of Time, except that this game was released 5 years earlier.
Yeah. That is interesting. Okay, so
a few things in common with Ocarina of Time, but coincidence. Coincidences happen.
So I like that parallax, I will say. Okay, I'm Queen Eleonora. The monsters came from a cave. Okay, so now we have our quest. Take Priscilla. So now we're taking a fairy with us.
Named Priscilla. Okay.
Named Priscilla.
So we have a fairy. So we're a boy with a sword and a shield and a fairy. Okay.
Okay. Also a silent protagonist, boy.
True.
So, Wonder Boy, right?
Wonder Boy, yeah.
Okay. So far, so good. Now, you need the ocarina to open cave doors.
What other cave have we seen ocarina in?
All right. So you're a boy with the fairy, sword and a shield, and an ocarina, and respawning enemies in town. God, okay, that's really annoying.
Yeah.
Respawning
enemies that can spawn right on top of you in town. They're breaking many, many rules here.
That makes me want to scream.
So you could not get away with that in a game now. Well, I guess you could, but you probably wouldn't sell very many copies.
I mean, you could do it. It would just make your game bad. I mean, if you do that, your game's probably already bad.
I like that the fairy attacks. I like the little animation of her attacking the mushrooms.
Yeah, I do like that.
And this mushroom is just closing in on you from behind.
Yeah.
He respawns and just closes in on you. This is really dangerous.
I wonder if you just have to take the aggressive route here.
Yeah.
You can't.
I think you did it well. So, I do like that the mouth to the cave is marked there. So you're entering a cave, but this isn't really a cave. This looks more like a palace.
Yeah, it does.
This is called a cave, though.
This is not cave-like at all.
This is what was referred to as a cave earlier in the game.
All right, so we see there's some notes on the floor here.
And there's some notes on the door. The door has been sealed.
Okay, so it looks like we have to play some music to get past this door. That's also in Zelda. That's interesting.
And that's this potato thing. It looks like something maybe carved out of a potato.
I don't know.
It's...
Oh.
It's an ocarina.
It's the ocarina. Of course.
1992.
Huh. All right. Well, maybe we should equip it.
In our quick slot.
In our quick slot, equip the ocarina.
With our fairy following us. And our sword and shield.
We have to play this ocarina to open this door.
So the way that we play this ocarina, we would press buttons in a certain sequence. Do you remember that sequence?
Let me see. You know, it's funny because I don't think the game tells you, but I bet we can figure it out. Let's see. Oh yeah, there it is. You played beautifully.
So you play the ocarina by pressing
one of 3 different buttons.
A, B, and C in order, which is what Ed just did. He just pressed, I think it was B, A, B, A, B, C, or something like that.
Yeah. That was it. So, a lot of striking similarities there. I really am starting to wonder. Also, we went on GameFAQs to look up just information about this game. The person who tells you about the ocarina back in town, her name is Saria.
Yeah, in the original Japanese version, her name is Saria. In this one, she's called Sonia. We're playing the US release.
What is up with that?
So, I guess the cat's out of the bag now.
Yeah.
This Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was more than heavily influenced by this game.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked. I figured that would be a huge scandal. Let's see here. So, okay, so this melody is different, but what is it?
We don't have any clue. Yeah, we weren't able to discover any clues to how to play it. You might have to actually just discover it.
Yeah, unless it's written down somewhere. I think this is just trial and error.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that in this game it's just trial and error, which is pretty bad.
Also, if you don't push the button, as soon as this dialogue stops, if you don't push it within like a second, it says, I don't play.
Yeah, it's not very clear. So Ocarina of Time very much improved on the design of this game.
God. So I think it's 8 notes, and you have to just brute force it out. It looks like. It really looks like that. Okay. Okay, it's not that.
So you got the first 3 notes?
We'll be here for a while, I think.
No, we won't, because we're going on to the next game.
And that game is Castlevania Bloodlines.
It's a really awesome game.
I shouldn't have spoiled it.
You can spoil it.
I will. So did this come out before or after Super Castlevania 4?
That's a good question. I wish you hadn't asked it because I don't know.
So I take it back.
So really cool graphics in the intro. Sort of like Castlevania 3, which we also played on Classic Analysis in our NES series. I don't know. It's ominous and
very atmospheric, just like the other games. Is that Simon Belmont with the whip?
No, that's Richter, and this guy's Eric Lockhart, who's not a member of the Belmont family, but you can play as him in the game. This was the first Castlevania game to have more than one playable character in it, and there's different paths in the game that you can take depending on which character you take.
Wait, what about Castlevania 3? Didn't that also have different characters?
I'm sorry. I stand corrected.
No.
This is the first Castlevania game that has 2 main characters that you can choose from the beginning of the game.
Oh, okay. I get it.
I'll cover up my fumble there with never mind. I fumbled.
I got you.
So you've got this John. Oh, it's John Morris. I don't know why I said Richter. He's in Dracula X.
He's in Portrait of Ruin. That's John Morris, right? Isn't that him?
Yeah.
Jonathan, Charlotte.
Yeah, I think it's his son.
Oh.
I think Jonathan is John Morris's son. And or maybe this is John when he grows up. You know, we don't know enough about Castlevania lore to be discussing it.
Castlevania lore. Yeah.
They have different play styles. So we're gonna play as Eric because he has a totally different play style than traditional Castlevania games. So with John, you can swing with the whip and access certain areas, and with Eric, you have like a super jump.
Okay, so they each offer different, abilities during play, right?
Right.
So it kind of gives them different identities, which I would hope.
So this is kind of a classic intro to a Castlevania game. So you see the different characters, and they do different things on the bottom. He kind of pokes his spear up, and I think John like flings his whip to the side or something.
Was that a reproduction of Castlevania? Did Castlevania 1 have an intro like that?
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Or was it Castlevania 3 that had an intro like that? Or was that completely original? I feel like I've seen that somewhere.
The first Castlevania.
The first one.
Yeah.
All right, so you got your staples here. These, what are these? These fires that drop. Where do they drop here?
These are the hearts, basically, of the game.
Crystals. Okay, so they're not hearts anymore, they're crystals. This area looks just like the one from Castlevania 1.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I wanted to play this game, because it's very atmospheric, which the first Castlevania, I think it captures the same kind of atmosphere as the first Castlevania game does, which I don't think Castlevania 2 or 3 captured quite as well as the first one, at least the first level. And I think Castlevania Bloodlines really nailed it as far as atmosphere goes.
It kind of reminds me of just a straight up remake of Castlevania 1.
Yeah, just the first level. This game has a lot of very unique things, which we won't explore probably because they're in the later levels. But
how's the jumping in this one?
It's clunky.
Poor.
It's clunky like the.
That's wall turkey. It's gotta be. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Whoa. Okay.
So you get a weapon here. This is it's a book.
It's a book.
I forget exactly what that does. But here's where you can see how playing as a different character, it allows you to skip that entire underground part that you would have to do if you were playing as John. And vice versa, John can skip certain areas or access other things that Eric can't.
Cool.
So they use the same level, but it's a very different experience, even beyond just the way that each character controls and plays. You access different areas. So it's worth playing as both characters, playing through a couple times. And it is a hard game. It is a Castlevania game.
I'm sure it's not any easier than the original.
It is easier than the original.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. It's definitely easier than the original.
Is that a result of easier level design or easier mechanics or control or what?
A little of everything.
A little of everything?
Yeah. So here's our first boss. I love the art style in the Castlevania games, and I love the art style of this guy. And so here he breaks the windows with his howl and causes the glass to shatter, and the shattered glass hurts you.
Oh, how do you dodge it though? Look at all that glass.
Yeah, it's really hard. I don't have it really memorized anymore, so
you got
exactly what to do. And also it's very gruesome. The rest of the game is not this gruesome. They got a little bit lazy with the gore. You actually have to finish off its carcass here by stabbing it a few more times.
Oh. Alright. Okay.
Yeah, and this is another thing, like the enemies entering the arena in a specific way, in like a unique way. They're skeletons on the ground. You just see the skulls on the ground, and they turn into full skeletons.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So in Game Soup, we like when enemies enter the battlefield in some kind of a unique way.
Wait, there's nothing in there?
Yeah, there's the wall turkey.
Wall bone,
which I really needed.
That wasn't turkey. That was. Did you see it?
Yeah, it's like a ham thing.
Wall ham.
So here's some more gruesome, like,
oh my God,
Doom type of stuff here.
Blood. There's actually blood.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood.
You'd never see this on Super Nintendo.
Nah, back then the Super Nintendo.
Genesis does.
What Nintendo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you were gonna say?
There's a super version of your power up. Did you see how my spear was glowing? If you get a full power up, you get if you get enough of those little yellow power ups, your spear increases in power, and you get to this one. This one with, like, see how it hooks at the end?
Yeah.
This is like almost the max power one. Then you get one that's like glowy, but if you get hit, you lose that. So that one's like super special. It's sort of like getting the shooting sword in a Legend of Zelda game. So this blood here hurts you.
Of course. And again,
no, it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Actually, it doesn't. I thought it did, but I remembered wrong.
Now, when we did our NES analysis, we talked about amazing backgrounds.
No, it doesn't hurt you.
And look at this spike wheel down here. That doesn't hurt you? It doesn't do anything, right? Is it just in the background?
Yeah, it's just in the background.
It serves no purpose, just to look cool.
Right. That's one thing that just Castlevania has throughout the entire history of it. Just very unique backgrounds, and they don't reuse anything really.
Ooh, cool.
Oh yeah, each attack has 2 modes. If you hold up and press the button, you have like a super mode, and if you just press the button, so for the holy water you just throw it, and if you press up, it kind of launches it like that.
So this really seems to stick pretty hard to the old Castlevania conventions, but just looks better.
Right. Yeah, this game, I think it's overall considered inferior to Super Castlevania 4, but I think the only things it does a lot better, I think, are I like the music a lot. It's probably my favorite or maybe second favorite soundtrack to a Castlevania game, besides probably Castlevania 3. And just the variety in being able to play as 2 different characters, I think it does better. But besides that, Super Castlevania 4 is probably the superior classic Castlevania experience.
Why were there candles in there hanging in midair?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it doesn't make too much sense, but that whole segment there, you never see anything like that again in the game. It's just one really cool, just a bone dragon that you walk on. It's pretty exciting.
It's pretty
especially
cool.
the first time you play it, because you're not sure if you're going to make it or not. But it's pretty easy. You usually make it.
It seems like it is. You just have to hold right, essentially, right? Oh, this is cool.
So it's ominous. We can tell we're getting up to something that's going to be difficult here. Some kind of a boss. So this boss is a little goofy for a Castlevania game, I have to admit.
Is this an original boss?
Yeah. I don't think he appears in any other Castlevania game that I can remember. He's like a Clockwork Knight.
Doesn't seem like you're hurting him. He's not. It doesn't appear that he's taking damage.
Yeah, he is. He is. There's that little red indicator on him shows that he's taking damage.
If I didn't know that, if you hadn't told me that, I would assume that that's him blocking the attack because he's wearing armor.
Yeah. And you can also see his life bar at the top.
Okay. That's true. That's a good point. Is it moving? It's not moving. It's not moving. Ah, there you go.
So this boss is pretty safe. You can hide behind here. So this is kind of just to introduce you, I guess, to the mechanics of the game.
Did he just lose an arm?
Yeah. Yeah, that's another cool thing about this game. Like, enemies will lose limbs and like things will fly off of them, and there's a lot of like segmented enemies, which you see in a lot of Genesis games. And you'll see when you kill him, he explodes into a bunch of parts, and
cool.
It's really cool. Yeah.
Nice. Huh. I wish I'd played this when I was younger and this had come out. I guess I still can.
And oh yeah, how you do the super jump is you hold down, and when you see him start to charge, you press the jump button. So it's similar to Super Mario Brothers 2 in that way.
Password.
Yeah, there's a password system because there's no battery.
Ugh. At least it's only 4 characters, and they're easy to remember.
Yeah. So I don't know. We could play a little bit of the next level, I guess, but I think we get the idea.
Yeah, it does seem to stick relatively close to, traditional Castlevania.
Yeah, it's very linear.
Yeah.
Each level is very unique, though, as you'll see, and the graphics really are a big part of what makes this game awesome.
This is cool. When we played Rocket Knight Adventures, I think last time we recorded, there's a level that looks exactly like this later on. Only instead of water, I think it's lava.
It's reflective like this?
It's reflective, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool
So here you can see I got this super power up again, so if I get hit, I'm going to lose this one.
So don't get hit.
If that wasn't clear before, yeah.
I just see oh, that was his weapon. But this is a cool graphical thing. These reflective surfaces.
So that's an attack. That's my special attack.
Wow.
That I just picked up. You can see in the top middle, there's like a portrait, and it's got like a devil skull with a circle in it.
That's what the item that you're holding,
yeah, that's
right?
indicating what my special weapon currently is.
Oh, okay, water's rising.
Yeah.
So this is one of those levels.
Mm-hmm.
In a Castlevania game with awkward controls.
Sort of awkward, yeah.
I don't know if I love that.
Now, this game is a little bit more forgiving with the jumps. I mean, it still controls badly, like it controls like a Castlevania game with the jumping, but it's a little bit more forgiving the way that it's designed. There's not too many pits that you can get knocked down, as I get to a part where that guy could have knocked me down into the water. But it's you have a little bit more warning about when something like that could potentially happen. So I think that the design of this game overall is better than the NES Castlevania games. I think they learned a lot of things from it.
Alright, so this is Castlevania Bloodlines. Do you want to move on to our next one here?
Sure.
And our, I think, final game tonight is going to be whatever this is.
It's called Decap Attack,
starring Chuck D. Head.
Do you get it? It's a pun. It's a play on words.
Abdomain Land. Okay. So without any introduction whatsoever,
it is
let's get right to it.
Platformer.
It is a platformer.
So you can see I just smash these. These things are everywhere, these little statues. You smash them and you get different kind of power-ups out of them. So the first power-up we get, which is nice the way that they put this here right away to introduce this mechanic. Fuck.
All right.
Hit immediately. Okay, you can throw your head. It's a little awkward though. It's kind of hard to aim, and I got hit. And if you get hit, you lose your head.
It looks like you lost it forever though. Is that the case?
Yeah, it's gone until I find my head again in another one of those statues. And so it's sort of like you can only shoot if you have full life, or if you haven't been hit. If you get hit, you lose it. So it's sort of like Legend of Zelda, which we've been mentioning a lot in this episode, this monster episode of GameStube.
So I noticed that you can't attack while you're ducking, which makes those guys kind of annoying.
Right, but you can hit them while you're standing, so it's not too bad.
Also, you know what else is annoying? Go back there for a second. If you're coming up from the bottom of this area, I don't see any blocks. Do you see any blocks? They blend right
No, but
in.
luckily I can do this.
Yeah, you can glide.
If you mash,
Kind of cool.
if you mash jump in the air, you can glide. So it's sort of like having a permanent raccoon
Cool.
tail, like in Super Mario Bros. 3.
Why are those blocks almost transparent? I have to. Why? Why?
Yeah, there's not too much reason for it. No, there really isn't any reason for it.
Speaking of things that there aren't a reason for,
Because it's not like a secret.
yeah, that's something. Oh God.
Oh shoot.
Oh, okay.
Oh shoot.
So you were
Gosh
saying
darn
earlier
it.
the controls are very floaty.
They're more than floaty.
Oh yeah, they're like I don't know what.
Yeah, there's something to be said for having floaty controls. It can be fun, but there is a limit. So the acceleration is very slow. The high speed is pretty fast, but it takes a little bit to get there. And to change direction it takes a little while. You kind of slide around a lot.
Yeah.
And you can do this. But if you're too far off, you still fall.
So you
So
might.
if you go over the edge by mistake, they kind of throw you a bone
That's pretty nice.
and let you
Yeah.
run back onto the... I mean, they could have just programmed it so that the control was a little bit better.
Yeah, if they gave you the option to recover from a
But sometimes
bad...
it can be annoying because sometimes
Yeah.
you do want to fall off the edge.
Oh, so that happens every time?
If you press the opposite direction, like if you're trying to control your jump as you're falling, which you do in a lot of
Right.
platform games, you wouldn't be able to control it.
That is kind of annoying.
You can't control it as well as you could in other games, I guess I should say.
Well, it's not as bad as Bubsy. Could always be worse.
No, it's definitely not. It's not Bubsy. It's a cut above Bubsy. I've played a lot of this game. I used to own it for Sega Genesis.
I mean, aside from the floaty controls, I mean, you can glide. You have, I mean, a pretty standard attack, but it looks like you have a fair amount of options. You know, I think the gliding thing alone is a nice concept for, you know, mechanically.
Right.
All right. That wasn't too bad.
So it's a pretty easy first level. It's a pretty standard platform. I know we're complaining about it a lot. We're saying a lot of the negative things about it, but it's actually not a terrible game. There are a lot of things that could have been done to improve it.
Yeah. Little nitpicks. I mean, the style of the game is, you don't see games like this very often. It's like, it reminds me a lot of Monster Party, you know? It's kind of morbid, but also comical.
Yeah, like kind of cute.
Yeah.
It's almost cute. Yeah, some of the enemies are cute, so I guess so. It has does have a 90s feel to it.
The jumps. There you go.
Yeah, you gotta run up on that one. So this level is more vertical than the previous one. And there's three levels, I believe, in each area, and there's 7 zones, if I remember right.
So that's 21, I guess, total, right?
Yeah,
So that's a lot of
it's
levels.
pretty decent,
Yeah.
pretty decent length, and the levels are generally a lot longer than the first level. The first level is kind of a tutorial introduction kind of thing
So wait, I have a question.
with invisible blocks.
If that's your head that you just picked up, are those eyes coming out of your chest?
Yes,
Do you have 2 heads?
yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
Why are there eyes in your chest, though?
so you can see when you don't have your head.
All right.
Oh, these fall. That's not good.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, let me discuss the other power-up system. So you press the A button and you go to this side panel pause menu sort of here, and each item, these are things I've been pulling out of the statues. So you hit the item and you can ask about what it does. So they tell you what it does, and if you keep pressing A, he'll continually tell you what it does until you press
Yeah.
B.
That's nice that they tell you at least.
Right. So this menu, it's a little clunky, but it's fine. So this one extends your reach and strengthens your punch. Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
So this happens a lot as you're playing it. So let's just use that. So for 10 seconds.
10 seconds? I thought it was going to last a little bit longer than that. All right.
So it's a little awkward to use these power-ups.
There's a cool little musical cue, though, that went
Yeah.
along with it.
And you get a ton of them. But most of them aren't really
Oh.
that useful.
That's cool.
But some of them are pretty good. So we can check out what some of the other ones do. Ask. 1 sip of this and you'll move faster and jump. Okay, sure.
All right.
And you'll see I keep on asking him over and over again what they do.
You're a very curious individual. Okay, so now that you have gliding and you have these wall bouncers, you can actually... This kind of opens up some interesting avenues for gameplay. Like that, just there.
Right.
That's kind of a cool idea. I'd be interested to see how far they carry it, you know?
Oh, they carry it really, really... That's kind of annoying enemy placement there.
You can jump on enemies too, can't you? Did you just do that?
Yes, yeah, you can actually jump on enemies. Should have probably mentioned that earlier.
So you have 2 different methods of attacking.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they showed us a horizontal level, a vertical level, and I don't know what's next. I haven't played in a very long time. So we don't know what's going on here, but we do have this, so we can ease our way into things. So in this game, dropping down into confusing territory is more forgivable, and actually probably fine in a game like this, because you can do it very slowly, and usually you're not going to just be falling to your death.
This level doesn't seem as linear as the previous ones. Maybe that's just me. A decent amount of enemy diversity as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is good.
Yeah, these guys, the arrows on their head, they shoot the arrow at you, and they give you plenty of warning that they're going to do it. So, which is good because it's early in the game. You're trying to ease the player in to how it controls. I like that you just smash these guys into the ground. Like you bully them like a bully on the beach and push them down in the sand.
Back where they belong.
So let's try out a couple more of these power-ups.
That looks like a health potion, right?
This will wipe out every enemy in sight.
This will wipe out every enemy in sight.
Yeah, you probably almost always get explained to twice.
Yeah.
This will make you immune to attacks for a 10-second period. That's very good.
Cool. Yeah, that does seem powerful.
And it kills them too. So this would be good for a boss fight. So you only get each item one time, and I think if you die, I don't think they respawn.
Ooh.
So you get you only get each item a limited amount of times, and so you kind of are benefited from exploring each level more, which there weren't a lot of games that did that as much early on, especially like a platformer like this. So that's a pretty neat thing. Like, it encourages you to explore to get more power-ups, which will make the rest of the game easier. So you can spend a lot of time powering up for later in the game, or you can just try and get there quickly so that you can practice more of the later part of the game. I think we're at the first boss.
Oh, I was just going to say, are there boss fights? All right.
So I believe he shoots his mask at you. Oh, you can stand on his head. That's pretty neat.
He does. He throws his mask at you. All right.
So you can stand on his head, jump over.
Your attack looks like it has a really short range, which I guess is short. You want this is when you want to use that power up, I assume.
But I already used it, so I can't use it again.
All right.
This was the one that damages all enemies? No, this is the immune to attacks.
That's probably a good way to kill this guy.
Yeah. I think we can only use one power-up at a time as well. You can't use this now. Oh, because we're in a boss. So no, that was not the strategy that I discussed earlier. It's not a viable strategy.
But it's interesting they had the foresight to make that,
try and rebalance it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not wipe out every enemy in sight.
Cheese every boss.
You can't use this now.
Okay.
Okay, so we can't destroy every enemy in sight.
All right, I have to give some credit to that. That's pretty smart.
You control a powerful ball of light that's effective when used against boss enemies.
Oh.
Well, let's try that.
What if it said you can't use this now? That's it?
Oh, it just does damage to him, I think.
Just that one thing?
Probably just does heavy damage to bosses.
All right. He turned orange. He must be damaged.
That's an old... Oh yeah, there's also a pause button, besides pressing the A button to pause into this menu. So, let's see, what's this one do? Freeze enemy movement for a 10-second period. So this game's sort of like having like magic. This is sort of the magic system of the game.
Yeah, very
rudimentary magic system. Yeah.
Can you use this now?
Probably not. No. So you can't use it at any time when you would really want to use it.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't waste this stuff because it's limited, but you wouldn't waste it on regular enemies. You'd want to save it for bosses, but of course, you can't.
Right, so you would probably want to save that item that I just used two of for a much harder boss. This is a very easy boss. So this game has a lot of item conservation mechanics to it. So here is where you want to use the invisible blocks, because this is a secret up here.
Those invisible blocks. Yeah, exactly.
This is where you want to use it.
And nowhere else in this level should there be invisible blocks. Because now, that's annoying.
Can't leave this round without finding the most important item.
What?
Oh, that's right.
Could you tell me what it is?
It is the abdomen of your body, or of someone's body. You're trying to find body parts in this game.
So it's not enough to just beat the boss.
Right, you gotta go back. So this is sort of like, we played Little Nemo. That was a game with a lot of backtracking.
Yeah.
And this game increases its replay, I guess, with the backtracking. But once you know where everything is, you're gonna be able to backtrack or not backtrack, you're gonna be able to find it on the way. So probably when I used to play this game, I had everything memorized. I probably learned where everything was and just did it on the way. So your first playthrough is going to be, your first, attempt at beating the game is going to be a little bit longer. But it'll get shorter each time as you learn where everything is. So it increases the replay value without making the actual combat more difficult. So I guess that's all right. It's not ideal, but it was a way of increasing the the replayability of the game. So I wonder where it is. That is a mystery.
Okay. That wolf, I'm just gonna chill out here.
It's probably not over there.
What?
I'm guessing it's not over there.
What is with that? There's a little platform there that goes into the lava.
Yeah. So this is kind of hard to get up here.
Oh, I think it's so you can run from that right platform to the left and get bounced up there. I think that's really awkward.
Oh, that's totally what it's for. Yeah, that's a little bit weird. It's kind of bad. It's kind of bad design.
I wonder where this abdomen is.
It's very claustrophobic down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If I had to guess, I would say it was probably high up. I hope you don't have to like jump off a ledge and just blindly go
Yeah, that
go
would
off
be
to the side.
Terrible, terrible choice. Maybe this is it.
I feel like this might be it. If we just do this or something. No, maybe not.
Maybe. Come on, abdomen.
But we are picking up more power-ups as we go back. So if we were playing like for a real playthrough here, it might be up there.
Shouldn't it be more or less in plain sight?
Yeah, at least the first one you would hope.
Yeah.
Or maybe some kind of indication of where it is.
Oh god, those controls.
Yeah, we just this might be it.
Nope, that's your head.
Interesting. So we're almost at the end here.
Alright.
Yeah, we're not gonna find it.
Yeah, we don't have to spend any more time looking for it. You can see how much backtracking we did in this level already.
So the game has some archaic design flaws to it, but it's overall a pretty solid game for the time.
Yeah, I remember having a lot of fun with this game, but I don't know if it was actually fun, you know? Who knows? Well, looking at it now, it doesn't seem too bad. There's certainly worse games. I think controls are a huge issue to me. Like now when I play a game that has bad control, it turns me off completely.
Right.
It didn't used to do that. I used to be able to just fight through the pain.
Yeah, there's so many good games now though with great control that were more discerning, I think. And there was just less games to play then. So that's Decap Attack, and that's Monster Games on Game Soup.